Greetings, my name's Tim Johnson. This is Recovery, Strength, Hope and Courage. For many years during my addictions to both alcohol and opiates, one of the main things that stopped me um, from stopping, if you like, was fear. And the fear of many things, the fear of withdrawal, the fear of living life clean, the fear of experiencing my emotions properly for the first time, fear that built up. And as one famous Chinese philosopher said, fear is one of the greatest illusions there is. And that's very, very true. I just want to share something with you that I wish I'd discovered many moons ago now, called the 5 second rule. And I discovered it first discovered it in someone else's video actually. Someone mentioned it, and then I did some research on it. And it's really interesting because like I say, one of the main things that stops us going into recovery and facing our fears is our brain, obviously. Now, there's an author called, and she's an expert on the brain, called Mel Robbins, who wrote this book, and you can look it up yourselves on YouTube or the internet and whatever. It's called the 5 second rule, and she lectures all over the world now, and it's extremely interesting because what she says, and it's got scientific proof of this, if you like, is the brain is programmed to make us feel comfortable, to keep us comfortable. So basically, if we face any situation that is uncertain, that may cause us discomfort, that is hard work, or that may cause, that we're fearful of, that is strange to us or uncertain, then the brain will immediately try and talk us out of facing that and going towards it, because it's trying to keep us comfortable. And this is a proven fact. And if you think about it, it's very true, isn't it? I mean, it's the same sort of situation, as if you that holds you back. If you've got stuff to do, your brain will always talk you out of it if it's going to be uncomfortable for you. So it may be I'll use exercise. I always talk about exercise, but I'll use exercise as an example. You know that it's going to cause you a bit of discomfort and pain, but ultimately it's really good for you. You're uncertain about doing it. What the 5 second rule says, that unless you act within 5 seconds, go for it, then your brain will immediately dive in and talk you out of doing it. And that goes for anything in life, and it goes for recovery, because if you think about it, your brain will always say, "Oh, you don't want to do that. That's going to cause you pain. That's going to cause you discomfort. Oh, I don't think that'll work out." And from that uncertainty becomes fear, which is an illusion, basically. And then that fear manifests and gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And in recovery, particularly facing withdrawal, which is one of you're going to go through some discomforts, however bad it's going to be. It's going to be uncomfortable and bad. Your brain will always try and talk you out of facing it and doing it. And unless you make that decision extremely quickly, then you've got no chance, because your brain just won't want to face it. So it'll always talk you into going for another drink, another drug to make yourself feel comfortable. And it's an extremely strong thing to conquer. But once you do conquer it, then it's so worth it. So you've got to bear in mind this 5 second rule. Just bear in mind, I'm just going to look at this because I made some notes on it. And basically, courage. I'm not a very courageous person, deep down. But what I'm learning to do slowly but surely is face my fears and to use this 5 second rule. And if I don't feel like doing something, I will act. And what this rule tells you is to count down from 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You must act in that time to do it. And that might be it's something as simple as going to meet someone. You're attracted to a person across a room, or you look, should I go and talk to them? Should I not talk to them? And if you don't act within 5 seconds, your brain will talk you out of going over there, and your confidence will evaporate. Your fear will kick in. And that goes through everything in life, really. It goes through your business success, your life success, your health, everything. But particularly, I would say towards addiction, because you're afraid of living clean, you're afraid of feeling emotion, you're afraid of facing life, possibly. But most of all, you're afraid of making that jump and going out of your comfort zone. You may have been using drink and drugs for many years, moons, whatever it is. Your body's can tolerate it, and you're addicted to it. You're addicted to those opiates. You're addicted to that alcohol. So you're going to be in some discomfort when you stop, and you're not sure. And if you, like I say, if you don't act very quickly, your brain will talk you out of it. Courage. If you show courage, generally the power of courage is that it'll generally bring out the best version of you there is. And I made a video about this, and that's all I'm interested in now, is becoming the best version of myself that I can be. And I'm no hero or anything. I've been a very cowardly and frightened person all my life. But I'm learning now in my latter life, and I wish I'd discovered it sooner, to face these fears and use this rule and go direct to head on. If I want to do something, I won't let my brain talk me out of it. And that might be something to do, like it might be, I'm starting to write a novel, and I've got no pretensions about that being, successful or anything else, but it's great. It's really cathartic to me, but I was putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But now I use this rule, this 5-second rule. I just get straight in and do it. And generally, and that'll give you so much confidence and so much, such a push forward that you will start achieving your goals, and you will make the move into good health. And same with diet, your brain can talk you into or out of anything, like going for the sugary and shit solution or junk food. Your brain will talk you into doing that because it's comfortable. It won't talk you into necessarily going for the healthy options until you start doing it and making it a habit, which is what I've done. So, and like I say, there's nothing special about me. I'm just a 57-year-old man who's discovering all these things late in life, and I'm just trying to pass them on and hope that you'll, or anyone out there that's listening to these things, will get something from them and learn that it's like jumping out of an airplane. There's a video on YouTube about jumping out of an airplane. Will Smith, the famous actor, describing his fear and how when he was going to jump out the next day of the airplane, he spent 16 hours before, after he'd made the decision he was going to do it the next day, 16 hours sweating and worrying about it, didn't eat, didn't sleep. And then when he finally stood on the edge, that was when stood on the edge of the plane waiting to jump out. That was the real fear moment, he said. That was the one he should have been working towards. And when he jumped, it was the most exhilarating feeling of his life. The thing that the most fantastic thing he'd ever done. And he'd spent 16 hours or more worrying about it unnecessarily. And that's like most of our fears, isn't it? We sit and most of them are ungrounded. Like I say, fear is an illusion, and most of it is ungrounded. And some of that discomfort you think you're going to feel, you don't feel. But what your brain doesn't kick in and tell you is that when you get through all this, life becomes so good, and you start achieving, and you start becoming more confident and healthier and fitter and stronger, and it becomes just a habit doing this. So overcoming your fears is so important. I think it was Winston Churchill said, "Success isn't final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." And it is. You've just got to keep going. And when you get knocked down, you get back up again. It's fear develops obstacles to success, and the only failure is not to try and keep trying. And these are all little quotes. I'm keep looking down at there because my memory's terrible. That's one thing that is really bad. But what I'm trying to get across here is that you can accomplish anything you set out to accomplish. And I used to just shake my head and say that's a load of bollocks when people used to, motivational speeches and all the rest of it, But it is true. If you can get through that barrier, if you can use that 5-second rule to conquer those doubts and act rather than sort of sit back and let your brain talk you out of doing it and making the change, then you will find freedom, you will find success, and more success, and you can put that towards your family life, your business, your job, yeah, your health, well-being, everything. You will find all these things once you get through this barrier, and it's a human thing, isn't it? This fear is a really human thing, and to get through it and conquer it is so important. I mean, fear stands for, and I've used this before, but it's either forget everything and run, forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And you should face everything and rise. Look up these things and find out for yourself and give it a go, because it is so worth it. It's not going to be easy, and I keep saying this and keep saying it. Of course, it's not easy. It's a battle, it's a fight, and it's a daily fight to get through these doubts and these fears in your head. But once you get through them and once you conquer them, then waiting for you on the other side is a massive happiness and success and well-being that you can't imagine at the moment. And a year ago, I couldn't imagine it. I was at death's door. I just didn't feel as though I had anything to live for. And now I feel as though I've got everything to live for. And it's because of this. And it's because of getting through that fear and facing it. And it's not easy to face your fears. Of course it isn't, because you've been hiding from them all your life, probably. But try this 5-second rule. If you don't feel like doing something, count backwards from 5 and act on it before you get to 1. And you'll find 9 times out of 10, it was the right thing to do. Anyway, that's enough from me. If you're struggling out there, if you're going through withdrawal or you're struggling in life, please hold on, because it will get better. It definitely gets better. And carpe diem, seize the day. Much love to you all out there. See you next time. Bye.